Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me, your old pal Orpheus. We're here with another edition of Orpheus Plays, right here in the arena, on Blade and Sorcery. Yes, a wonderful game here in the VR metaverse? What do we call this? This is still the internet? I don't... Anyway, we're here playing this today. We are in survival mode. We've got 3 pillars that pop up in between waves, and there are apparently random weapons. Sometimes they don't seem so random, but whatever. And then we just kind of kill our way through all these waves, and we do all this wonderful stuff just for you, and I hope you're doing great. Wherever you are right now, day or night, doesn't matter. Right now, what does matter is that you're here with me, your old pal Orpheus. So, hope everyone's doing good, like I said. What do we choose? What do we choose? The skinning knife, or the sort of bearded axe, or the rapier? What do I feel like murdering with first? Let's go with the axe here. Yep. Another day, another way to kill more NPCs. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've been doing some work. I got a couple of suggestions to do a music bed under some of these episodes, and I think I might, so you might actually hear something below me, like underneath me while I'm talking. Hopefully it sounds cool. If not, I don't know. See, I come from a radio background, and so putting music beds under things, slow motion kill of the day. Oh, you suck. You're getting a punch for that. Take that. And now... the finishing axe. Ha! Okay, how about we hit it with the blade? Oh, you know what? Whee! Oh, that took care of that. Alright, that's better. So yeah, no, I used to put music beds under basically everything I did, including, you know, being on morning shows. You have some wacky music playing in the background. It kind of elevates the mood. So we'll see. It does add about an hour and a half onto my editing, but I really don't care. I'm good with that. Little solar plexus workout for you, lady. I don't know how I'm doing this. I'm walking forward and kicking her. You know where this is going, right? She's just dead inside. There you go. Boy, man, this game lets you do some evil stuff so far, and I love it. No, bro, what are you... Into the spikes with you. Yes. And since that's the spikes, we'll call that Buffy the Vampire Spike? I don't... whatever. But yeah, like I was saying, I used to put music beds under things all the time, and, like... it was kind of a staple from the morning shows where I originally came from and started kind of working. I worked and lived near a pretty big metropolitan area for a while. And we're talking a big old metropolitan area, one that's famous for several things. And again, let's try not to narrow it down too much, but we do have a sleuth right now that's actually probably actively working, taking notes on everywhere that I've talked about and all the events. He's been guessing a couple of times. You're getting not very close. But it's okay. I like to see the interaction, so whatever. Anyway, so that reminds me, being in those big cities, like I said, they really like... it's very popular for morning shows used to use music under what they did. And I used to love hanging out in that big city. There was like a, you know like what, there's like a suburb, right? And then there's like the big city, and there's like, when you drive towards it, there's like that imaginary line, you know, where you cross it and you're like, uh-oh, I'm in the city now, right? But not like the city, like the outskirts, crappy parts of the big city. So we used to have, and I'm sure they exist now still, these dollar movie theaters. Now, we don't have any here in our town. Our town right now is, I wouldn't say big enough, but that's not really the issue here. It's more like, there's no real demand for dollar movies. And that's what I'm saying, like, I don't even know if it's a thing anymore. You can go rent a movie on some streaming service for 99 cents. Be all set. But, like, the dollar movies, so they'd have first-run movies, and then they'd wait a little bit, and then, like, 6 to 8 months in, they'd pass it on to the dollar movies. And a lot of times, drive-in movie theaters would get them, you know, second run and stuff. And so the benefit of the dollar movies is, like, obviously you can take your whole family for like $10. Hot slow motion. Nope, you suck. My turn. So you could take your whole family for like $10, right? And that's including like all the snacks and popcorn and stuff. Okay, well, there's a little side effect that comes with the dollar movies, especially when it's on sort of that border between the main city and the suburbs, right? Is that little buffer zone. We'll call it the neutral zone from Star Trek, right? Except it's, well, there's more action that happens in the neutral zone too, I guess. But anyway, so I used to love to go to these dollar movies. Oh wait, hey, how you doing? Goodbye. Because it was just something fun to do, right? I was a person, and I'll tell this story in another one. I was a person who, I shielded a lot of the tension and the stress and the abuse in my life by just getting out of the house, right? And I kind of have this concept of the rolling couch with my car, which is like, buy a tank of gas and you got, you know, several hours of just being able to drive around and listen to your own music and do whatever you want. And then you can stop on the way for snacks or whatever. Okay, well, the concept is you get to just go and not be home. Because if you live at home and your parents are really strict, anywhere but home is cool. So I would go to these dollar movies. How did that just go right through you, lady? You're getting slashed. No? Flick? No, this lady is immune to everything. Flick? There we go. So I go to these dollar movies all the time because it was just total distraction. You pay $1 and that's like 2 hours of not having to be home for the day. Okay. So this one day, I'm at the theater and it was packed house because it was Goodfellas. Goodfellas was there. It had just come to that theater, so it was, you know, like a big thing. You know, that's a big movie. Ooh, you have been disarmed. Come here. Come here. No, come here. I want to slap you with her arm. I challenge you to a duel. How dare you, madame? Anyway, so Goodfellas was in this. Whoa, just went away. In this movie theater, packed house, and it was a mixed bag of people. It's like a lot of folks that you wouldn't expect to go to like see Goodfellas, but I mean, you know, cheap. It was a big budget movie. It was a big deal. Okay. So if you know Goodfellas the movie, it's about gangsters. It is the story of how gangsterism back in the 70s, I think, or am I thinking Blow? The movie Blow. Anyway, one of the other. Oh yeah, it's about gangsters. It's about the mafia. Blow is the other one that I'm thinking. So yeah, it's, you know the story. You've probably seen it, or at least heard about it. And behind Godfather, it's like the best mob movie that there is. And so, if you know that movie, there's a certain scene where a character, his wife gets like abused or like smacked or something by the guy across the street. And did I get you? Boom, headshot. And so the husband comes home and the wife, played by Lorraine Bracco, I think, she says what happened, and the husband goes across the street with a pistol. And he takes it and he pistol whips the guy, right? He just beats the ever-loving snot out of this guy with the butt of his pistol, right? And so it was an highly anticipated moment, I guess, because everyone started, like, cheering and stuff, like, yeah, get him, yeah! And pistol whip that motherfucker, you know? At that very moment, did you just take both my... That was a weird little move there. Hi! Lots of... Where did that go? Oh, well. So, this is like one of those climax scenes in the movie where just a lot of tension gets released, and I mean, he's just beating the poop out of him. And so at that moment, someone decided, ooh, boy, that was a swipe shot. Like, I didn't just cut it off, I cut it away. Ooh, that's a rough cut. Anyway, so at that, wow, I'm doing good today. At that very moment, a couple of guys that they must have been gang members, because they had the bandanas like displayed prominently and stuff, you know, like the gang crowd. And so some of them go to get up, and they start, you know how like in movie theaters you have to like shuffle your way through awkwardly and putting your butt in everybody's face as you go by? Okay. Gotcha. So, one of those guys goes passing by, and all of a sudden I hear, like, you just scuffed my Puma. And the whole crowd kind of went silent, because, you know, there's a whole thing. If you're into shoe culture, like tennis shoe culture, holy crap. There are people that pay thousands of dollars for, like, Air Jordans from the 90s, like shoes that we saw everywhere all the time, and now they're going for, like, $5,000, right? Well, if you're a shoe person, you know what I'm talking, where I'm leading with this. Like, and especially if it's like a gang member or someone that has spent a lot of money on those shoes, they keep those things pristine. Like, when I got my like, every time I get a new pair of Chuck Converses, the white toe cap and then the white little rim around it, I spend just weird amounts of time, like, getting that thing, that toe cap all white and polished and stuff. And I, like, you know, getting a little bit of Windex and, like, kind of scrubbing things off. So I get it. I mean, until the shoes get kind of screwed up in some way you can't clean really easy. Here, have a rock. Oh, yeah. Have some rock for you. I like it. But, you know, you get to that point. It's like a car. When you baby a car until it gets a scratch, a real good one, then you're like, ah, the hell with it. You start using it as a demolition derby car, basically. That's kind of how it is with my shoes. But for a lot of people, that's one of the offenses, like up with the yo mama joke, you know? Like two people that don't know each other, you go, yo mama, and they're like, oh, well, now it's serious, right? Well, apparently, scuffing someone's shoe is, I mean, it's always a big deal if some dickhead walks across and, like, you know, scuffs your shoe up. Why aren't you dead? Well, for this, apparently this was the most egregious transgression that could have taken place on this day, because it quickly went from mofo, you scuffed my Puma, to some more flowery language involving, yeah, your mama, and then some more flowery language including what you want to do about it, and then there were a couple pops. And mass panic ensued, right? Everyone just wanted to get the hell out of that movie theater. Someone had pulled out their own little pop gun and had fired off a couple of rounds, not necessarily at the person, but more like at the floor. I think they're trying to do that old Western dance, you know. So there's a couple of pops, people are starting to go, and all of a sudden I get up and I'm like, yeah, I'm effing out of here, right? And I get up and I notice there's like this like sting in the back of my calf, right? And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I got caught on a spring or something, like, on my way out. After all, this is a really crappy movie theater, so that's more than an adequate explanation, right? So I make my way out of the theater. Come here. That's right. You want some spike in your face? Yes, you do. So I make my way out of the theater, and I get to my car, and, I mean, I'm telling this part all calm, like, and I make my way out of the theater. No, it was more like a stampede of people out into the parking lot, just all like, ah! Right. The theater's calling 911. Ooh, wow, that was a good one. That's sharp. Whoa, uh-oh. So everyone's, like, just flying out of the theater. I get to my car, and I'm driving away, and woo, wow, off your feet. I swept her off her feet like a romance novel, and his rough hands traversed her smooth skin, and a spike went into his head, and it lovely. Yes. Anyway, so I'm driving home, And I keep noticing this, like, sting. I keep feeling it, like, I'm just like, ow, what is going on? And so I get home, and, like, the sting has turned into kind of a burning, and, like, I'm noticing, like, I feel kind of weird down there, and I look down at my pants, and there's just a stream of blood coming right off my calf. And it's like gotten on my shoes. And it's like, it started to pool a little bit in my socks and stuff. So I'm like, what the hell? I lift up my pant leg, and I had gotten a bullet fragment in the leg, like in the calf. There was this hole, this little hole, and it's just sitting there, you know, like, it wasn't a huge wound or anything, but it had been just openly bleeding for about the last, 45 minutes or so. So I'm like, what the hell do I do? I can't just go to the hospital, right? Like, imagine with my parents, damn it, how would you do that? You've heard some of the stories about my parents being a little strict. Well, could you imagine if I came home with a bullet wound and told them, and then, like, I gotta go to the hospital? I'd be in so much trouble. Even though I'm the one that got shot. They're like, you're in trouble for getting shot, mister. Well, I didn't actually get shot. That's the thing. It was a ricochet. Someone fired at the floor. It must have fragmented and bounced up into my leg. Because it was, like, at an upward angle. So, I'm like, well, shit, what do I do? What do I do? Let's just say, I got a pair of pliers and some tweezers. I'll not go into the next about 10 minutes of that story because, oh my God, you've seen it in movies where they like have to dig out the thing. Yeah, that's kind of what happened. Not as much screaming, but you know. So I get that thing out, and it wasn't that deep at all. It was like just basically right under the surface of the skin. Didn't go very far at all. So pull that thing out. I got some super glue and a Band-Aid. Because I was like, there's no way I'm going to let this thing just start weeping as a wound, like around my folks. My parents would be like, why is your calf bleeding? So I get some super glue and some Band-Aids, and it took about 4 or 5 months to heal all the way. And I still have a scar. Just like little, it's about half the size of a dime. Just, little tiny thing, just sitting right there on my calf. And yeah, that's the story of me getting shot in the leg. Folks, if you ever have the urge to go to a cheap movie theater, just stay home and rent it. just rent that thing on some streaming service. But I don't understand, like, this is another case of how is Orpheus still alive? Because, woof, that inner city has provided so many weird and messed up stories from my life. Like, got robbed at gunpoint, and a car got stolen from my dad and I. That was fun. It was a 65 Corvette that my dad had. It was his little baby car, right? And for some reason, he decided it was a good idea to drive it to work in the inner city. A forest green. No, this one was, it was a fire red, kind of orangey red. One of the stock colors for 1965, and a convertible with the side pipes and everything. And we're leaving his work, and all of a sudden, a gun right at the back of my dad's head. And the guy goes, "Yeah, so you give us the keys. Give me the keys right now, or we're gonna have a problem." And my dad very calmly took the keys and gave them to the guy, and the guy drove off. We never did find that car. I'm assuming it was stripped within mere moments of when it got driven away. That was such a bummer. Although, it was kind of funny later on in life to kind of think like, oh, my dad's baby car got stolen. Poor guy. His Corvette. So anyway, that's another edition of Orpheus Plays. I've been your host and murderer, Orpheus. We'll see you on the next one. If you got any comments or anything, do the like, subscribe, comment thing down below. That will let other people know. Oh boy, she's breakdancing. She is breakdancing. I want to go witness this. But that'll let YouTube know that you like it and other people should like it too. we're slowly... Wow, this is entertaining. It's like a cat toy. But, you know, this way we can build a community together. It's always great to see a bunch of people coming to the same place and being able to share some fun. And I really appreciate every single one of you for being here and listening to my content. Oh, wow. Okay, the Unity engine's getting a little weird. I should probably wrap this up. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Hope you're having a great day. Hope I made it just a little bit better. Bye.